Okay, now I should be coming through. Sorry about that. That whole time my microphone was not being picked up by OBS. So I guess I'll do my spiel again. A few weeks ago I played Mixed Up Mother Goose. Thanks to a suggestion by my friend Justine in the game club. And that inspired me to think about games from my childhood, since she'd played that in her school computer lab or whatever. So what I'm playing today is games that I remember playing on PC from my youth, starting with one that I only played at school, and that's Super Solvers, Gizmos and Gadgets, an educational game from The Learning Company. This was a 1993 release on DOS, and I played the 1997 re-release for PC and Mac, but it's easier to run the DOS version, and from screenshots they look identical. So yeah, I think that was all the important stuff I needed to say. In chat we have Gibbon, who's excited about DOS and about she says that she played this as a kid as well, so that's great. Some shared experience there. Fusion Warrior's here too, good to see you. And Fusion Warrior says Super Solver's Midnight Rescue on an early CGA Hercules Amber monochrome display, easily 5 years old, playing something I can actually win on that computer, unlike freaking King's Quest 3. Yeah, early Sierra adventure games are a bit tricky, but as we saw with Mixed Up Mother Goose, they adjusted the game design for kids and now it worked better, I think. Yeah, our friend Mitchell made a similar observation recently about humongous games, comparing them to the LucasArts adventure games and how streamlining the verb system was not just good for kids, but good for everybody. It's more user-friendly in general. Anyway, I think we've actually already... Oh, hang on. Forget the intro, it's not important. There's a mad scientist guy called Morty, and you have to infiltrate his evil lair. Or maybe he's infiltrating some other lair, a good lair. And he's got these robot, they're called chimps, who are trying to stop you. You can actually turn off the action portion of this game and just do the educational portion, but I'll engage with the whole thing. I played this game in year 3, I was 8 years old, while I was attending an international school in Kuala Lumpur. We'd moved there because I think my dad had a midlife crisis, basically. He was like, we're making a huge change out of nowhere. So we all moved to Malaysia. And this is one of the games that they had on the computers there at that school. And for years I didn't know really what it was. It's only recently when I decided to research it and try and find it again that I discovered what it was that I had memories of from back then. So this should be a nice little nostalgic trip. Welcome to Shady Glen Technology Center. Okay, yes. Gizmos and Gadgets, a Super Solvers science adventure. Sometimes it's called Super Solvers : Gizmos and Gadgets. This is part of the Super Solvers series from the Learning Company, which has, like, I don't know, maybe 10 games for between 1989 and 1999. The Learning Company is also responsible for things like Reader Rabbit and Clue Finders. Yeah, and that's the extent of my notes. So let's play. We've got the background now. That's our character. Press enter to sign in. That was a test I did, but I'll start again from scratch. You can play Gizmos and Gadgets with Morty cyber chimps or without them. When the chimps are in the warehouse with you, they will try to take your vehicle parts. Let's get the extra challenge. All right, now there's 3 places to go, and that determines like what questions you'll get because it's educational. So aircraft, automotive, or alternative energy. Let's go with alternative energy. I'm more comfortable in that sphere. New player hint. Look at the blueprint to see which parts you need to build your vehicle. Yeah, so you're going around collecting parts and you're going to build a vehicle in the end. This is all like This is bringing back memories for me. Press up to go to the warehouse and look for parts. Okay, cool. Let's do it. I pressed up. Okay, maybe mouse control. Okay, now it's working. Now this is all very Commander Keen-esque. Yeah, so whenever you want to go in a door that's closed, you have to answer a science question to solve it. My science understanding is a lot better now than it was when I was 8 in 1997. But my only concern about this is I might have trouble if, since this game was released in America, if they insist on using imperial units, I might struggle a bit. So you need to solve the puzzle to go through the door. Okay, understand. Okay, they're not even involving units, which is nice. So if you put an equal weight on the same position, it'll be perfectly balanced. That's a very simple one. But they do get more difficult, I'm sure. Okay, mouse control. We get a good view of the robotic chimp up there now, and I think they're very charismatic villains. It said you could click it to... Oh, you get a tiny little bio of it over there. 2-wheel stopping brake. Cool. I'm not sure if this is accessible. No. Yeah, so I haven't played any of the Super Solver games. From what Fusion's describing, it sounds like one of the earlier ones with the amber display. This is one of the later releases in terms of that technology, I suppose. I guess it's in the middle of the general release schedule of the series. Arrange the magnets to create the shape. So again, it's starting us out easy. Ooh, there's like little physics mechanics to that. That's cool. So magnetic poles are attracted north to south. So if they want you to make a straight line, it's very easy to do so. Hopefully this gets harder as we go on. I don't know if I can adjust that. No. No options menu. Okay, we now have the chassis of the car. It's a nice frog leap on this character. This character doesn't really have a face or a name. They're just a cipher that's meant to represent you. Although, I don't know, they look kind of masculine. Could have been a bit more ambiguous. I don't know, whatever. It's fine. You see this character in the artwork, actually. I had this set up in case the screen was the wrong, like, ratio or something. I could put a border here. So that's what I'm playing later. This is the cover artwork, and that's your character on the right. Yeah, it's an interesting cover artwork. Science and thinking. Sure. We're thinking right now. Whoops, wrong one. Okay. So, magnets again. How do I rotate them? With this button. Perfect. So, north to south, and you won't go wrong. Ta-da! Okay, now it's going to test our jumping skills. Okay, it didn't tell me what they are, but by trying to pick up the box, it revealed that it was one I already had 2 of, that I have to get rid of some. A decal, lovely. Flames decal, that sounds awesome. Can I interact with the coat rack? No, I cannot. So let's just go back the way we came. 2 exits down there. A lot of spatial reasoning in this game. You have to think about where you are, where the doors lead to. because there's these two layers, this outer layer and then the inner layer that are on different scales, which is a cool effect. I like that. Fusion Warrior says, Morty Maxwell got into the FBI protection program and had his name changed to Albert Wiley. Yeah, it is pretty similar, isn't he? And he builds robots. It's all coming together. All right, so 6 on the 5. Multiply the weight by the number of its position. That makes sense. So 6 by 5 is 30, so I've put the 10 on the 3. I didn't know there was a direct mathematical relationship like that for this kind of problem. That's cool. That's interesting. All right, we're encountering a chimp and we have 10 bananas to use. We could just slip out through this door actually, so we'll do that first. When it comes time to confront them, you can delay them with a banana peel in classic comedy fashion. Why are we getting all the same parts? Or I could slip out this door and bypass the whole thing. These ones are fun. Making a circuit. Very simple. So again, hopefully things get more complex later on. But yeah, this was meant for 8-year-olds, I suppose. At least that's how old I was when I played it. 5's on 3, so 3 on 5. This is really just a maths problem masquerading as a science problem. I like that is going to be the case a lot of the time, I think. Okay, that's a paint. Another decal. Got the motherload in here. Some wheels, that's cool. So how do I remind myself how many parts I need? Do I have to go back to the warehouse? A cheetah decal, red paint. Oh, these are actually the exact same part. I didn't check that on the other one, whether the one I threw away was a different one. I thought it would look different. Body with a long slope and egg-shaped body. See, they look the same, but they're actually different parts. This might actually be a good time to return to the warehouse and check things out. Oop. I like the jumping animation, it's very cool. Since we're right here. Why are there so many breaks there? Oh, I see. You get 2 of them because you got 2 sets of wheels. Now, what's more aerodynamic, children? I say the egg-shaped one. It looks cooler too. Flame or cheetah? What happened to that cheetah's front legs? It looks weird. Let's go flame. And a nice red body to match the flame look. So we're still missing gears, and that's it. We only need gears to be complete with this car. And then based on the parts you choose, you do better in the race at the end, I think. So we're going to go back now to where that chimp was. So we will have an inevitable confrontation. Let's go. Oh, it's gone. I guess it ran off somewhere else. They do move around, I suppose. Okay. The greater the force, the greater the distance, of course. But how great should it be? It goes up to 6, but there's 2, 4, 6, 8 different. Oh. Okay, well 2 got it there. There's no penalty for failing this one. You can just try again. Okay. So the force like directly matches how far along it goes. So it's really about gently introducing these sort of science concepts. Okay, banana time. Ah! Oh no! Throw them bananas to make them take a nap. I thought it was banana peel comedy, but maybe not. It ate the banana, and it was so satisfied that it fell asleep. And in doing so, it actually drops the part. But it's a part that I already What? I couldn't pick it up? Okay, whatever. Wow. I don't think I ever had problems like completing this as a child. It's not too hard. Okay, I already have decals. But I applied one. Why is it back in my inventory? I can't get rid of it because it's applied in the workshop. Okay, that's interesting. Well, we've seen the cheetah one, so let's see what else there is. A pinstripe decal. Nah, not really my thing. What's this? Now I have the gears, the 1-speed gears. But we can do better. We'll keep looking for parts for a little bit to try and get better, high quality parts for our car. Right, electrical energy. Oh, we just matched them up. Yep. That looks like electrical energy. Oop. A match represents heat energy. Or I would say chemical reaction energy or something. Mechanical energy as of a windmill turning a pump. How do we do? Potato battery is electrical. Looks like it's all correct. Very nice. Oh yeah, okay. Next. Do I get extra? Whoa! Oh no! That was interesting. Now you can see the arc on the banana there. What did you take from me? Yeah, give it back. Okay, I have 2 2s this time. 2 2 1, 5 on 4 is 20. So I have 4 to put on the 5 to balance 20. It's really balancing an equation. It could help you to write it out in algebra form if you want. See, I've just gotten some better gears there. That's 10 speed gears, golly. Is it really an improvement? Okay, red paint, yellow paint. I never liked yellow. Blue paint, better. I was in Yellow House in year 3 at my local school here in Australia. When I moved to Malaysia, I was in White House actually. Nope. There we go. I completed an axe. Nice. They sleep for a long time, don't they? We haven't seen the pinstripe, but I know I'm not gonna like it. So what do we got here? A racing butterfly, nice. Okay, this time they don't give us the partial circuit to prompt us. I think part of this is like a bit of spatial reasoning to connect them where you have space. But so far the circuits themselves are extremely basic. Ooh, that one contained bananas. And more bananas. Perfect. Haven't used too many yet. Some new energy types. Mechanical. The pulleys have got to be mechanical. Heat. Heat is being applied to the popcorn. The popcorn pops because water inside the kernels boils and thus expands, creating pressure inside the kernel, and then the pop is the pressure releasing as the kernel kind of inverts and expands the internals. So that would be like a physical change driven by the application of heat energy. Chemical energy, I guess a titration is chemical energy. Yeah, chemical changes do produce changes in color as seen in the titration, but they can also cause the products of the reaction to change energy state Many reactions are exothermic, so they release heat energy. Some are endothermic, so they pull heat in from the environment. A red box has given me yellow paint. Oh, okay. It did tell me before that anything I recycle will be returned to the warehouse in red box form. I forgot that. So we've gotten quite a few good parts now as extras. Yes, now I don't have a better brake yet. What's this one? It's the same again. Oh, well, never mind. I can't drop down there because the spring will push me back up, so I'll have to do it from another screen. We can go via this area and head back. Oh, oh, that was rough. Give me back my thing. I'm nearly full up here. I can't actually put the worse wheels back. Well, I don't know if they're worse, they're just bigger. I'll chuck these ones. 22-inch. Is bigger wheels better? I don't really know. Alright, so this will probably be a fair bit of energy. Oh. What else can I adjust? Oh, I can change the gravity. Can I? No. Give me a hint. Yeah. So gravity will be predetermined, I guess. Oh, I can pull it back further. Cool. I always did like these little physics simulations. One thing we had on our home computer at the time was Encarta 97 Encyclopedia, which had in amongst its interactive exhibits some... Did I win? Okay, the gears were slipping or something. Just had to let it go at the right time. Yeah, Encarta Encyclopedia had some fun little physics sims in there as well, like an orbital planetary simulator thing, which was kind of cool. Yeah, that slope was terrible. Rectangular, that's even worse. For aerodynamics. I do want to see what it looks like, so I'll keep that one instead of picking up the new one. What we need to do is get back to base. Gotta figure out the sequence of doors to do that. Okay, chimp time. There are so many doors. So going in this one brings us there. Okay, so it is a 1-to-1 relation, which means if I go in that bottom one, I'll be able to drop down to the left. Oh, the chimp got out of my way. That's cool. Alright, magnet time. This one's a bit tedious because of all the rotation clicking that you have to do. Just match north to south and you're good. And I don't recommend directly attaching magnets north to south for long-term storage. You should keep them separated with a little bit of wood or plastic to help maintain the magnetic field longer over its lifespan. That's not something you need to worry about when you're a kid working with these things, unless I guess you have magnets at home. But as a science educator who works in that field, it's something you need to know about. Alright, rectangular body, very ugly. No thank you. On top of anything else, seeing out of the window would be pretty tricky. The racing butterfly, beautiful, love it. What? Okay, you can directly deposit stuff in the trash here. Let's get those bigger wheels. Oh, we had the biggest wheels. Still not sure if big wheels is better, but let's go bigger. We got them later on, so 10-speed gears. Again, not sure if that's really an advantage. 10 is more than I think you would need, but let's try it out. This is a little simulation phase where the cars race by themselves. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't look too good. Maybe I made some poor choices there. Maybe I did win. Oh, I did. It was a close call. But here we go. Milo 1 beats Morty. Hooray! Congratulations, you won the race. Win the race. Win the race. Just win the race. Yeah, I'd say he's more of an Eggman type than a Wily. I don't care what it takes. You won the race and have reached the rank of assistant. You need a score of 30,000 to move up to the next rank. Keep up the good work. Will do. I got a tiny little trophy. A featureless black void. Maybe I'm a wraith, a Nazgul perhaps. So the tech center takes you back to that hub. What happens if I pick next level? Does it dump me immediately into... That's fine. Solar powered racer. Oh, that's awesome. Remember when these things were cool? I had one as a Matchbox car. My trophy collection is small, but it will grow as you progress. Of course, you had the profile system for use on the public school computers. I'm not sure how many profiles it supported. But having beaten that level, we'll get some more difficult puzzles now. So that's cool. Gibbon says, it's wild that there's an entire series after this starring that faceless protag. Yeah, not just after, but also before. This is like in the middle of the series. But yeah, I don't know anything about the other games. So I guess it makes sense that it would star that same character design recurring in the other ones. Yeah. Gibbon says her brother and her played a bunch of them. Fusion says this character is a detective elemental, faceless, given form only by its clothes, but representing the sheer primal force of detection and puzzle solving. Yeah, that's cool. What? The mouse, I was having some problems with the mouse on the window. So this one has the peg on the bottom already, so that goes over there, and this one, no peg. Hooray, we made a balance. Old school style. It's all electronic these days, of course, but we still had some balances at school for demonstration. This is my workplace school. I don't remember what kind of balances we had in Malaysia when I played this game for the first time. That's the kind of detail I have not retained. I just remember playing this game. Not so much classes. We were only there for 3 months, by the way. I never said that, I think, but yeah, it was not a permanent thing. I think Dad realized that the working conditions there were not ideal, and he realized that he would prefer to return home, which was okay by me. I certainly enjoyed living in Australia more than living in Malaysia, but yeah, like I said, it didn't last long. Don't remember too much about it. I was very young. Certainly the weather was different than what I was used to. Much more tropical and humid. I think part of the issue was that his qualifications weren't recognized as much over there since they were from a different country. Gibbon says, yeah, that's true. There were some before as well. I played Midnight Rescue a lot and a bunch of the Super Seekers games that were like a sibling series. What do you do in the Super Seekers games? Curious about that. More science. Place the simple machines on their matching parts in the everyday machine. Again, very simple. Simple machines are things like wedges, levers, slopes and things. And in this case, the nail contains a wedge at its tip. And that is the simple machine mechanism of its action. when you apply the force, it gets narrowed at the point, allowing it to deliver greater pressure on that point. And that's why nails have a little thing at the end. Okay, I can't retreat now, so we're going in here. Push the red buttons at the same time. That's easy. Just got to pick the right point to put the gear on so that it all matches up. Again, they're pretty simple at this stage. I don't really know how far I ever got back in year 3. Switching between mouse and keyboard is interesting as a choice. But I guess it makes sense. Okay, light energy. We have light coming out of the candle. The burning of the tallow creates a chemical reaction that emits light and heat. Electrical energy. The battery supplies electrical energy to the clock by means of a slow-paced chemical reaction. Mechanical energy, gears turn. And you get greater torque or lesser torque by changing the size of the gears. So the smaller one turns faster, but does more rotations per cycle. The larger one, slower, fewer rotations per cycle, more force coming out of it. Yep, okay. Gibbon says that the Seekers games are a bit more adventure-y, like exploring a mysterious mountain or snorkeling around a pirate cove, and the fourth one goes to space. Good grief. Yeah, that's quite different to this, isn't it? A bit more exciting. This one is very focused on the educational, but with some of these like action elements to keep you engaged, I guess. What you're describing sounds similar to one thing we had on our home computer were a few Magic School Bus games. They were really cool. They had education stuff, but also fantastical elements to them that were a lot of fun. All right, a watermelon's got to be heavier than a basketball, right? So we'll go like 6 power. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, but the Seekers games still had the same sort of puzzles in them as well. Nice. I think it was always a balance with educational software, trying to sell it to people, to teachers and parents and whatever. Oh gosh, that was too quick. It came on me too quick. Like, how educational is educational enough to satisfy the educators, you know? If it's too much action adventure stuff, is that considered too frivolous? And it'll always depend on the individual. So far these ones are more about just orienting things in space such that you can complete the circuit in the interface. It's very simple. It doesn't matter what side the negative or positive terminals go on, it's going to power that thing either way. Because, and don't quote me on this, I think batteries deliver AC current. You know what? Don't worry. Never mind. I'm not sure that I'm right about that. Electricity was never my strong suit. So this is like a pivot fulcrum thing, and it's in the middle where it pivots, so yeah, that's right. Yeah, the difference between AC and DC current is tricky. AC stands for alternating current, DC is direct current. There's a diagram that can show you the difference, but I don't really know how to describe the difference in simple terms, you know? Oh, I gotta chase that guy. Get back here. Give me my part back. I don't know what it is that it took, but I want it back. Gimme. Cute animations on these robots. Okay, so what have we got? 4 wheels with ball bearings, 4 wheels with self-lubricating bushings. Wow, self-lubricating bushings sounds high-tech. So let's check out the ball bearings ones and then see what we get. Metal bushings. Probably not as good as the lubricating ones, which probably have some kind of graphite powder in them or something. Oh no, it's asking to do the watermelon. Cool. So you can see that on the higher level, the warehouse area is bigger and more complex. Our character here is a little slow. I was comparing this to Commander Keen when it first started. So this is a seesaw. Do I win? What have I done wrong? Oh! So they've snapped to each other. So if I move one, the other one moves as well. I don't get this. Oh, should it be facing in? Yeah, there we go. That makes more sense. So the two users can look at each other while they do it. It's part of the fun. Let's drop down and grab some things. Then maybe we could just leave already. We'll analyze our parts when we get back to the lab. A pole. Oh, this is a nail, isn't it? Easy. Quite a simple example of a simple machine. Now getting back is part of the puzzle, of course. I can't drop down past the spring and I can't advance to the left of the other one. An apple? How is that part of a machine? A worm? Ah! Little scary. Do I have to insert the worm in the apple, really? Can I just leave it out? Oh wait, those are teeth. It looked like sections of a little grub. Tell me I'm not the only one who thought that. So in that case, the teeth are similar to the end of the nail. They have sharp bits at the edges to bite through food. Differential with a 4:1 gear ratio. Differential with a 2:1 gear ratio. 4:1's probably better, yeah. You gotta know a little something about cars, I think, to do this part. Picking parts. Am I wrong? Did you think that was a grub? Slide. Awesome. Slides are a great example of the ramp machine. A little unclear on the perspective of this picture, but I guess that bit goes there. What have I done wrong? The ladder's not quite in the right place. Oh, they're not snapping too. Oh, they are. Cool. There we go. Fusion says, I'm wondering where the little animations are unless you have to manually click them. What do you mean by that? Little animations, manually click them. In the puzzles? I'm not sure what you mean. Can you elaborate, please? Brakes. Identical brakes. Are these brakes any better? They're the same brakes. Them's the brakes, I guess. Let's frog hop our way over. Wait, I didn't want to go in this door. I'm getting confused. On the puzzles? Well, I do click on them to interact. I'm not sure what you mean by little animations. This is a big maze. How do I get out of here? So through here, I could go... Are they... Is this mirrored? I think it's mirrored. I'll just go in here. Okay, so Fusion's saying, I remember on the puzzles them having tiny animations showing what the physics properties are in play for the builder picture ones. Okay, that's interesting. Next time I get a builder picture, I'll try it out and see what I can find. So this time we shoot a beach ball, that's going to be lighter than a basketball. So we'll go 2. That was even too far. Golly. 1. All right. Like the teeth bits that were brown would play a little stake going into wood or something. Yeah, we did get a little... you might be thinking of what, because when we did the nail puzzle before that had you identify the simple machine that was taking part in the action of that mechanism, it played a stake going into wood then. So that wasn't on the builder picture one, that was only on the machine identification one. Which uses the same assets, but in a different way. And with that one, the focus is more on the machine, so it would have demonstrated that. What do I do now? I've gone in a big circle. Whoa! I didn't know I could do that. I've lost a part. I'm gonna chase it down. Revenge! Where'd they go? There they are. Buddy. So many bananas. Nope. This one. So that's something I turfed before. Brakes, it was the brakes duplicate. What? Ugh. Oh, now I'm stuck up here. Alright, I want to go... ideally right beside that spring to my left. So if I go right in here, that might take me there. If they're mirrored. It makes sense. I'm thinking of like Yoshi's Woolly World, Yoshi's Crafted World. You go into like these backdrop areas that are behind the area that you're in. I need more information. Beach ball. Let's go 4. It's just an additive thing, I think. I thought it might be multiplicative force. Oh, that was the right one. Cool. I just looked into it. It's cool. What's the time? Okay. Yeah, we're going okay. So, 4 wheels with metal bushings. 4 wheels with self-lubricating bushings. Probably runs better. Self-lubricated. Brakes. Normal brakes. No differences. We only got the one body, but I think it looks pretty cool. 40 solar cells sounds impressive. 50 kilowatt motor. You'll get different kilowatt values if you go looking for them. Green paint or blue paint? The green machine. Too light. I thought it might be darker blue. I'll go with the green. Batteries giving 30 kilowatts of power for 1 hour. Batteries giving 40 kilowatts of power for 1 hour. So I guess that's a backup battery. Or else the battery delivers the power and then gets recharged by the solar cells. It wouldn't be directly energy going from solar cell to motor. That would probably not be as efficient for car use, which has different energy needs over time. 4-to-1 gear ratio, 3.5-to-1 gear ratio. This one looks bulkier though, and like bigger is better. I don't know. I'll just go this one. 4-to-1. Small wheels being driven by a 4-to-1 ratio. I don't know. Did I even get a decal? 10 inches. Okay, here's the problem. The imperial problem. What is an inch? I have no idea. 4 tires that are 10 inches. 4 tires that are 11 inches. I guess I'll just pick the slightly bigger one. See how we go. Oh no. Oh no, this car's terrible. Obviously, I should have spent a little more time searching for parts. Oh no. Dr. Eggman / Wily 1. Go back to the workshop. Okay, I will. Apparently the blueprint can reveal some things. The tires with the largest diameter will help your car go the fastest. The largest tires available are 12 inches. So mine were pretty good. I'm glad we can actually access this kind of information. The decals will not affect the vehicle's speed. The decals, I remember them. I remember the designs. But this whole thing is just like a real trip. I haven't played this game in a long time, more than 20 years. But it all feels familiar. And re-engaging those parts of my brain that have directly experienced this exact thing before is really interesting. You can paint your vehicle, the paint will not affect. Okay, so wheels. Wheels often use metal bushings, self-lubricating bushings, or ball bearings to help reduce the friction that slows the wheels down. Wheels with self-lubricating bushings will have less friction, but the ball bearings have the least amount of friction. So I actually picked the middle one. I threw away the ball bearings one, which would have been the best. All of the braking systems available are the same. Okay, that's fine. What changes in the body? The speed of a solar-powered car depends on how many solar cell panels are placed on the surface of the body. The more panels there are, the more energy from the sun can be transformed into electricity and stored in the battery. The fastest vehicle will have 80 solar cell panels on the body. So I only had half that. He probably had more solar cells as well. I did wonder about the differential. Gear ratio of 3:1 means the drive shaft must turn 3 times to make the wheel turn once. The fewer turns the drive shaft has to make, the faster the car will go. So I actually picked the worst differential that was available. There are 4 electric motors. The most powerful uses 60 kilowatts. I had the 50 kilowatt. And for battery, 60 kilowatts for 1 hour. Using batteries with more power than the motor's capacity will not help your vehicle go faster. So it needs to match between the motor and the battery. Good to know. Really good information in there. I didn't do too well, did I? Alright. I think it's about time to move on to the next game for today. This has been really interesting, revisiting this. New player hints. You can turn them off. Alright, this is tutorial stuff I saw before. Yeah. And then back at the technology center, there's the 2 other buildings. I'm not as interested, but it does save your cars as a record of the run that you had before. That's cool. Like, it's kept the body and the paint that I used before. So I believe the objective is the same in the other buildings. It's just the type of questions you get that is different. Well, it's similar. You're building a blimp this time. That's really cool, actually. Cute. Building a blimp. Just want to test out what question we're going to get. Oh no, it's the same. Never mind. Yeah, same kinds of questions, I guess. Oof. All right. Yeah, so I do have another game or two to show. So that's going to be the end of this portion. I'm done with Super Solvers, Gizmos and Gadgets. Like I said, I have to go to the doctor later. I'm not feeling too well today. So this might also be a shorter stream, but we'll see. That was fun though. Yeah. Again, I was glad to have rediscovered that after having it be such a vague and hazy memory for so long. Now, the other games I wanted to play today were not on my school computers, so they're less educational. They're on my home computer, so they're more fun. But they were also only released on Windows systems, which makes them a little trickier to play. But I've got a VirtualBox machine set up with a copy of Windows 98. Oh, it's capturing the title bar as well. I guess that's fine, whatever. It's too late now to worry about that. But yeah, 98. This is actually more advanced than what we had on our home computer. We had, of course, the top of the line Windows 95 box, as well as a bunch of software bought in Malaysia. So there's a link, there's a direct link here. It's the same era of my life. And I believe a lot of the software that was purchased there may have been pirate versions, perhaps. Not all of it, but yeah, getting cheap pirate versions of software is kind of a stereotypical thing for Southeast Asia. So that's where we got Encarta 97, 95 or 7, whatever it was, encyclopedia that I mentioned earlier. We had the Windows 95 Game Sampler CD2 disc full of a treasure trove of awesome demos. We also had Montezuma's Return. So first of all, what I want to do, because it'll take less time, is play a small sample of a game from the Game Sampler 2 CD. This one I was really taken with because it was a 3D platformer. It's called Squeezils, or Hold On To Your Nuts. It has various names. The splash screen says Hold On To Your Nuts. The README says Squeezils. For a while I wasn't convinced that this game had ever actually been released. A full version of it hasn't really been preserved very well. I might have found one of them on some pirate website, but this is just the demo version taken from that sampler CD. Yeah, Gibbon says it's a lovely name. Yeah, it's funny. You'll see in the intro that there's a bit of a crude streak to the humor. So it's a very early 3D platformer. This is a little hint guide for the demo level. Oh, I did get this error actually. When I was trying to run it in my Windows 10 install rather than in the virtual machine. DirectX 2 or 11? It must have been 2 at the time, right? Must be installed on your system in order for Squeezils to run. Okay, it's probably a DirectX error. I don't have that version installed or something. But it does run in Windows 98. A note on getting it to run, though, is that the game logic is tied to your processor clock speed. So I had to adjust that in the VirtualBox menu. When it's running at 100%, it's unplayable for various reasons, which I'll explain. But when I adjusted the performance of the processor down to 50%, it runs much better, much more in line with what it should be anyway. So there's some voice acting in the intro sequence. The Inkscape is the publisher. Protozoa here is the developer. They were known at the time for 3D animations, so that was probably their strength, and that can be kind of seen. This is, typical stuff of the era of this 3D rendered graphic stuff, pre-rendered. This actually looked better back then. It's not running so well in the virtual software.
But their world is about to change. Something is coming. Something big. Yes, it's the return of the great shuddering nut. It's time for action. Adventure. Bravery. This is your call to glory. Long ago, the flaming nut first came to the land, and the Squeezils were drawn to it. Brave Squeezil Jeff approached with a piece of
Squeezil Jeff.
He was swallowed whole. The Squeezils were very afraid. But then Jeff emerged with treasures that defy description, and a message from the great shuddering nut.
Great
The
shuddering
Squeezils
nut.
must go forth and find all the shiny rocks, then bring them to the nut when it returns. They will be rewarded with amazing treasures.
Coming soon. I wonder if it did. Maybe one day I'll play the full version, but even the demo, I will not be able to get through the first level, so that's not going to be an issue. So this is that splash screen I was talking about. Hold onto your nuts. And with Gibbon here, my goal today is to convince her that this is part of the Congo universe. Oh no, what's it done? It never did this in practice, I promise. Oh my gosh, no, why? Ugh. Let's see, how can I fix this? I can insert, control, delete. Dang. I hope this isn't a processor issue. Of course it runs worse with that 50% virtualization of the processor. Nope. Alright, I'll just relaunch the virtual machine. Hopefully this works better when I do it again. I swear it was working before. Let me just double check. System. Yeah, it's the same settings that it was before when it was working. So, this one, this one. Okay, Gibbon is talking about her own personal experience with the Super Solver games. So the Super Solver and Super Seeker games came much later after we got a proper PC, she says, and I mostly spent my early years with a C64, which I've talked about before, and a black and white Mac on which I spent the most time playing a charming little game called Oxid Magnum, where you roll a marble around solving puzzles on a level-by-level basis. It's mildly physics-based and sort of chips challenge-y. That sounds really interesting. I wonder if I ever played that. It doesn't ring any bells, but it sounds really cool. There's a color version for DOS, says Given, and apparently some other releases later on, but I've only ever played the black and white Mac version. Oh goodness, there was apparently an earlier entry just called Oxid Sans Magnum, and an even earlier game than that, Esprit. Learning all sorts of stuff. Cool. Nice, yeah, so now I've prompted Gibbon to do research into her childhood PC games, and we're finding stuff out. That's really cool. Looks like the black and white one that she played was Esprit. Cool. Alright, this time I'll just skip ahead. I should be able to skip these. I did last time. Okay, I can skip the intro movie. Are you able to, like, emulate or simulate a black and white Mac these days? Could Sheep Shaver do it? Alright, here we go. Resume game. Yay, it's working this time. So, it's very tank control. It's also a little bit like, I don't know, you might say Super Mario Galaxy or something. You can walk on the edges of any surface, of any polygon in this world until you get to the water and then you die. But the issue when it was running at like super speed, it's already running faster than it should. But if you spin around, and sorry about motion sickness or anything, or flashing colors, just pressing the key in any way would cause like incredibly fast spinning. The Squeezil also has this animation, this sort of idle animation, which is really cute, where it kind of slacks off and sits down. And then when you hit a direction arrow, it gets up and stands back up to attention. You can't jump when you're in the idle animation sitting down. You have to get it to stand up again. When it's running at turbo speed, if your processor is set too fast, it instantly goes into the idle animation whenever you stop moving, which makes it incredibly difficult to actually control anything. You're also supposed to be able to spit those nuts that I just picked up at other Squeezils to knock them over and take their nuts. There's that kind of rivalry going on. Oh, it did work. Okay, cool. It didn't work when I was trying it before, but pressing A causes me to spit, and if you hit the Squeezil, something happens, I believe. There's also the giant fish. I don't know if you can really interact with it or if it's just cosmetic, but either way, it contributes to the feel of the world, if nothing else. Like, the game is quite basic by modern standards, or maybe even the standards at the time. But little touches like that add character to it. I was talking about Conker's Bad Fur Day earlier, obviously, because of the squirrel connection. A Squeezil, by the way, is a sort of portmanteau, a combination of squirrel and weasel. I died. So there's a squirrel connection. But the backdrop, the skybox that includes like other lands that you might visit at other points of the game, that really reminds me of things that you see in Conker's Bad Fur Day. When you get to the top of Bat's Tower, you can look around, and baked into the skybox is like other parts of the game rendered as 2D art, and it's really nice. But it also, yeah, contributes to the feeling of it being set in a real place, which Rare was always good at. So yeah, the platforming is just like pretty shocking in this game. You can hold the jump and then release it when you're ready to go, which is good for getting onto this bee. Ugh, yeah. But the timing is so tricky because of that processor speediness. Even at 50%, this is running faster than it should. But if I run it any less than 50%, the virtual machine complains. It doesn't like to launch. It only launches Windows in safe mode, and then it's all slow and grungy. So not good. This is the best I can do for playing this, which is why I won't be making much progress today. If you do manage to progress, I'll try and get a look at it. You can climb those platforms over there, up around that central pillar, and on the top is a tree, and that's the furthest we ever got in this demo. There's some kind of golden object there that you're supposed to be able to get, but I don't think we ever got it. There's also other Squeezils running around up there, which again is just part of this being like a little world of NPCs and stuff, which is fun, a cool thing to have in a 3D platformer like this. You're also supposed to be able to slide, but I couldn't figure out how to do that. You press Z and then I don't know. I don't think it was working properly. But Z to slide is another way of interacting with the Squeezils to knock them over for the other ones that are around. So yeah, my goal is to get onto the bee and to convince Gibbon to include this in her Conquer series lists. Come on, a squirrel peed its pants in the intro. What more do you want? Nuts are involved, naturally. Okay, B. We're gonna have words, B. Oh, come on. I think I was a little bit slow. I gotta lead it a little bit more. Sorry, alright. To catch up on chat a bit, Gibbon was saying, oh lord, the camera. Everything is very sudden. Is there a way to, like, downclock your virtual machine? And it's making her ill. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's hard to watch. Yeah, I thought that might be a problem. So, yeah, I apologize for that. But this is the best I can do in terms of the game speed, in terms of downclocking. Like I said, running it slower than this makes the whole system not happy. So, you should have seen it when it was running at full performance speed. It was unplayable and unwatchable, even more so. Alright, last chance. Alright, never mind, we're not getting on the B. I think that'll do it. I never thought I would get very far. Oh, I actually blue screened. Great. Wasn't a full system crash, though, luckily. Alright. That was just a little personal goal of mine, to play Squeezils on stream. And that's the best I could do. Not ideal. But we're done with that now. Now we're going to play the last game for today. I mentioned it before. It's Montezuma's Return. I've installed an intro skip because otherwise it doesn't work. Where is it stored? The installation process was a bit tricky because, yeah, I was trying to get like the graphics engine to work and stuff. Couldn't get that working, but VGA does work. Hang on, let me check if the disk is still in the drive. virtually. It is good. So I just got the installer from archive.org, and it's just as I remember it. So this is probably the same version that we had. This is a 3D sequel to the classic Montezuma's Revenge, which is included in full on the disc. So that's cute. This is the DOS release of Montezuma's Revenge. From, what did it say? Okay. Oh no. That was a proper full system crash, so we'll just launch it up again and we'll try and get it running. Yeah, the DOS release of Montezuma's Revenge is probably not the most well known. It was on Atari, it was on all sorts of things. Gibbon might have even had it on the Commodore 64. It was also on Apple II. But yeah, I don't know if that was the first one to pioneer its particular brand of gameplay, but it's in the kind of Spelunker type mold that was a common refrain at the time. Like flip screen, single screen, platformer. The main thing that I think of with games of this type, and I include Arcade Donkey Kong in this as well, is that fall damage is extreme. If you fall any more than your body height, then you instantly die. And there's lots of instant death traps all over the place. But yeah, I don't know where this fits in that lineage. Hopefully I can... Yeah, okay. So hopefully I can show the original a little bit. They included the DOS version on the disc as a nice little bonus. And again, this worked in testing. Yes, here it is. All right. Oh, the sound is not doing too hot. Okay. Is that the baby elephant walk? I don't remember. Okay. Good old crunchy game music. Okay, so that might not have been full damage because I think that was an actual hazard down there anyway. What's the jump button again? It's left control. Okay. Ugh, these ladders. So I would have tinkered around with this a little bit at the time when I was originally playing Montezuma's Return, but probably didn't spend too long on it. Because why would you play something this old and creaky when you had a cool 3D game on the same disc? This really is just here as a bonus extra to show the roots, but what we have in the 3D game is a sequel, a reimagining, like a fully 3D game. Oh gosh. Ah! Oh, that was close. Oh, there you go. I accidentally fell down. I was careless jumping for the key and fell to my death. And that's how easy it is to die in these games. So Gibbon was saying she didn't have this, but it looks like something that she would have played to death if she had. That's hilarious. Yeah. I thought with all your C64 tapes, it might have been on there. I think it was a pretty popular game at the time. But, yeah. Oops. Wait. What are you supposed to do there? Jump over, I guess. I thought that might have been a wall. We'll see. I'll go through my lives here. At least. By the way, this character has a name. He's Panama Joe. But he's... Oh, yeah, I didn't realize that jumping like that would actually leave me vulnerable to hazards on the platform above. That's rude. But yeah, I appear to be wearing something like the local dress of a sombrero and a poncho. Very stereotypical. I can fall at least that far. Oops. Not that far, though. Yeah, the idea of Montezuma's revenge is Montezuma was an emperor of the Aztec kingdom of modern-day Mexico. And I've talked about this before when I was playing Aztec Challenge before. About the Aztec kingdom and its history and stuff, and how some of that culture continued into modern day Mexico. Sort of in amongst and perhaps in opposition to the Spanish influence of the colonizers. But yeah, it's interesting stuff. Another kind of pun in the title is that Montezuma's revenge is like another name for food poisoning, basically. As such, there was a roller coaster with that name at Knott's Berry Farm that I remember enjoying when I went to America as a child. Okay, so the original guy was Panama Joe. According to the information I have, the character in this game that we saw on that title screen with the lovely ripped shirt, very much an Indiana Jones type, but according to the manual or whatever, he's Max Montezuma, a soldier who was descended from an Aztec emperor. So I guess that's one way of partially writing around the sort of cultural imperialism of that Indiana Jones archetype of breaking into these ancient historical sites and looting them. Because that's what we're doing. That's the kind of game it is. But he's descended from Aztec people, so it's okay, I guess. So yeah, this is Montezuma's Return. The 90s update. This is not your grandpa's vaguely Mexican-themed platform game. Oh, we're already into it. And it's, yeah, smoothly transitioning into the gameplay there. Cool stuff. I've mapped the controls onto a gamepad to make it easier myself. Whoa, boy. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. Okay, cool. By the way, there's an inbuilt system in this game to, if your computer maybe was lower spec, you could shrink the size of the display to make it run faster. And you could do that several times until you have postage stamp size window. But the side effect of this is it runs too fast on this system. Again, I've turned it down to 50% because it was unplayably fast, running at 100%. And when you expand the window to fill the screen, it's actually playable. It's too fast if you shrink it, because my system is too powerful. It's the other way around. So we can move and jump, but we also have the punch and the kick, which is what we'll use to fight the enemies we find in here, including these questionably racist depictions of humanoids. When you attack an enemy, their health bar pops up below that. That's my stamina bar, and that governs how many times I can punch or kick in a row before I have to rest. So this truly is the Dark Souls of video games. But let's not bother about those, because fighting them is optional. And all enemies in this game basically have way too much health. Our goal is to get all the treasure, because we're stealing from ancient cultures, of course. If you do, you get a bonus round. So I guess that'll be my goal, is to at least beat the first level and maybe try and get the bonus round. This is a very evocative scene, though. Falling down into this cavernous open space. You can look up and down and see your own feet, by the way, which is a nice touch. Bit of Jurassic Park Trespasser. Oh, actually, that's the opposite. You never see your feet in that, but you see your arms. Anyway, the gamepad is actually working pretty well, so that's good. The controls are fairly simple. There's no mouse look or anything. This is way before that kind of thing was the norm. Even though it's a first-person only game. So I knew about these. There's more treasures on the sides of the platform. Pearls, and the bananas restore your health if you lose any. I didn't get attacked by those guys in the previous room yet, so didn't need to restore it, but there's bananas scattered around to gather if you ever need to restore it. Oh yeah, true. I was calling the Aztec an ancient culture, but Gibbon points out that there were living inhabitants back there, so would be more correct to call it a current culture. Indeed. Although, I think in the logic of this game, they are subhuman and therefore can be killed with impunity. Very racist. Not like E. Yeah, we didn't kill them, but we might need to do so later on. To open a door or something. There are kill rooms in the Zelda parlance. Alright, this does have physics. It'll fling you if you're standing on it wrong. So if you jump on here... Alright, never mind. Yeah, we'll move on. So, yeah, I played this a lot. I don't know if I ever got very far, because it's pretty difficult. Oh. But it's very impressive as an early 3D game. Like I said, it has tank controls, but you also have a strafe button, so that's good. 2 strafe buttons, rather. I've mapped that all onto my controller, so all good. Looking up and down, I think, is not really often very helpful. You page up and page down to look up and down, and then you can hit caps lock to lock your view. And if you do so, then you can move like this. How useful is that? Probably not very, but maybe for falling down, you can keep your view locked downwards or something. So, yeah, nice string of pearls. Wasn't there something... I don't know. Love those modelled bananas. And here's something that's very guerrilla warfare. Or rather, Monkey Shines, the first one. The bouncing skull. Giant skull? Whose skull is that? It's humanoid. But, yeah, that's really cool. You do take fall damage, as I discovered when testing this, but not if you fall on sand. So you can have those sequences where you just fall all the way down into this chamber. I think it's really, like, good at capturing, like, a cinematic feel to those, to have those sequences in there. It's not just, like, really basic level design. There's a lot of interest to it. And this reminds me a bit of a sequence in Quake. You can see this guy up through there. Sorry about if you're getting motion sick from the perspective here as well. I'll try not to move that camera too much because the up and down looking is a bit... Yeah, it's a bit difficult to do smoothly, I'll say. So you are locked in this room until you kill this guy, who is clearly a sapient creature. Like, it's been dehumanized, but I would say this thing is human, and we're gonna kill it. Kill them, I should say. And when you do, they kind of dissolve and their limbs turn thin. It's very strange. But, yeah. Oops. Oh, here we go. Gibbon says, also, like, Oxford University predates the rise and fall of the Aztec culture by a few hundred years. So really, who is calling who an ancient civilization? This is a very good point. So you got to hit one button and then run around to the other side to get through before it closes. Apologies about the audio crackling as well. This wasn't... What? You're kidding. So the timer starts from when you stand on the button, not when you have left the button and started running, which was my mistake. No! It's a little bit of a movement puzzle here. I'm finding this easier to deal with having the controls mapped to a gamepad. Oops. So yeah, I pretty vividly remember most of these rooms so far. Whoa, that's a big chunk of health taken out. Luckily these bananas restore quite a bit. Whoops. But yeah. So this is 1997 and the theme is very similar to Tomb Raider. I didn't look up when Tomb Raider would have been released, but it's around the same time. But having this fully 3D, a fully first-person perspective, like explorable world, is pretty cool because, like, honestly, the controls of the first Tomb Raider are pretty clunky. We've compared them before to cinematic platformers, a very deliberate movement. This one you have free movement. You know, we probably shouldn't directly compare it too much to something that's in a different genre, but oh no, what have I done? Now this is a rodent of unusual size if I've ever seen one. South America does have large rodents. You might be familiar with capybaras, the internet darling. Very cute creatures, but they don't look quite like that. They're about the right size for capybaras, honestly, but capybaras have different tail, different snout shape. That was just a rat that's been expanded in the 3D modeling software, and they just blew it up. Okay. Here's the Mario 64 rotating bridge from Womp's Fortress. Oh no! That's alright. It's sand, like I said. Completely safe. Okay. So I talked about this with my brother the other day because he remembers all the demo discs we had. He wasn't sure if we had the full version of this or not. I think we probably did, considering I remember the installer and that kind of thing, and the launcher, as well as playing the original game, the Montezuma's Revenge game, the 2D one, which wouldn't have been on a demo version of this, I'm sure. Oh. But we almost certainly never finished this. There's only so much you can do when you're a child. And we had a fair few games, so, you know. Not always in the mood for this. But I reckon for its time, it's actually pretty impressive. The developer, by the way, Utopia Technologies. I went on like an archive of their website, and this was the only thing they were promoting. According to, I think it was Moby Games, they had released a couple of coin-op games before this, but nothing that they were really proud of, I guess. After this, they also got a license to make Nintendo 64 games. But I don't think anything came of it. Alright, it's telling us that this is a boss, and it's given us a checkpoint, so that's very lovely. Can I make manual saves? I can't. Fine. So here's the ancient Aztec robot, of course, as you must have. Pretty cool animation, I gotta say. Am I supposed to beat this thing up? Maybe this is why we never beat the game. This boss is too scary. This thing looks important. Yeah, maybe not. Okay. Alright, so we can do damage. I think we're better off trying to sneak around behind it. Ah! Cool. So it only damages us when it's doing an attack animation. Oh, like that. Well, it's kind of hard to tell when it's going to. Ow! We're keeping pace. If I can hit it when it's taunting, that'd be good. So if I can bait out a hit and avoid it. Ah! Oof, close. No! It probably only taunts after it hits me, so... Wait a minute. Is that a robot? Its skin color is not dissimilar to the little guys we were fighting before. I need to turn down the audio. It's so crackly. It's kind of distracting. Let's see if we can change that in the options. Just turn it down. Ow. Oof. Nasty. Ugh. We're doing okay. But now we've taken more damage than the thing has. Yeah, look at that face. Look at that chest. This is not a robot. This is a very large human wearing armor. It was the shiny gold of those leg and arm pieces and stuff that made me think robot, and the fact that it was sort of held there and then activated. But, you know, I don't know. I think it's just a big guy. Which just raises further questions, honestly. Oh! Yeah, there are unique death animations too, by the way. It plays these videos depending on how you died. And being clobbered by the first boss... Oh. Oh, okay. No. This is a death animation after all. We tried to make friends. Oh! Okay. Oh, that was my chance. I missed it. If I can avoid detection, perhaps I can sneak in behind. Heavily using the strafe button now. Whoa! Strafe to win. That's the Elden Ring way. Okay. Buddy, buddy. And I don't even get a whip or anything. I gotta rely on my trusty feats. And fists. I think they're kind of equivalent, really. I don't know why both of them exist, if there's any benefit. Oh, it actually... The boss kept the health bar in between my lives being used up. Oh. I guess we can cheese it by, yeah, damage abuse or death abuse or whatever. I feel like kicking's better in this situation. Oh, I got a bonus life for beating the boss. Pretty anticlimactic, but there you go. We won. And we found the treasure room. Golden gems. And many pearls. Was the Aztec Empire coastal? I'm not sure how far it extended. I'm just thinking about like pearls and how easy it would have been to get them back then. Oh, there we go. 59%! I missed some secret rooms, clearly. Okay, we're not getting a bonus room for this one. Hooray! Nice video. Dude works out, says Gibbon. Yeah, I guess that's how he got so big. Alright. Bonus round restricted. So we can pick the next one, it looks like. Dragonfly level, Godzilla level, or cat level. Cats. Let's go cats. So yeah, this is the screen. It tells you that 100% treasure is required. So I think this is the only game that Utopia Technologies, the only major game that they ever released. Like I said, they had that Nintendo 64 developer license, but it doesn't seem like anything came out of it. There is one other note to do with this game, though, is that there was an accompanying release on the Game Boy and Game Boy Color, which was also called Montezuma's Return. It was made by Tarantula Studios, who were later acquired by Take-Two and became like the Rockstar testing department. But they've done other... Whoa! It's a lion man. Or it's really just a lion standing up. Hello, buddy. What's up? It's not attacking me. I guess we're friends. That's great. Yeah, so I don't think I've played a Tarantula game before, but I've seen their name come up a couple of times. M. Maybe it stands for Montezuma. By the way, Montezuma is kind of the anglicization of the original word. Whenever you see that word in reference to, you know, the Aztec emperor ever used in it still gets used in modern Mexican culture for place names and people's names too, but they always spell it Moctezuma, so similarly but with a C instead of that N. So that's probably the correct way of spelling it. I'm not sure how the pronunciation actually is supposed to be done, but yeah, so apologies for any cultural insensitivity on my part in that case, but yeah. What did I say? Lion? Yeah, it's obviously a tiger. As you say, Gibbon. Hey, friend. These guys are cool. Hey, buddy. Yeah, completely friendly. No worries. Oh, swimming. Gosh. Do we have to? Yep. I remember that lung graphic for sure. So now we're in, like, flight simulator controls. Where down pushes your view up and vice versa. And you tap that button to swim. The jump button, usually. Oh. So this is another place I could have been put down. Yeah, so I was talking about the Game Boy version. So it's interesting because you're obviously not going to do a full 3D game on the Game Boy Color. That's as impressive as this. No way, no how. So what they did instead was they made a game that's very similar to the original Montezuma's Revenge, which is probably the right way to go about it if you ask me. So if you are a fan of that old school gameplay, there's a more modern version of it in the Game Boy Color port, or rather, you know, companion game to this. It's pretty cute actually. Very chibi style sprites. Oh boy, that was close. Alright, so we're back in this launcher room. Let's go back. It seemed like a dead end, I don't know. Oh, lava. Let's see the lava death animation. Oh. You know, I don't think tigers actually live in South or Central America, come to think of it. Do they? Think of them as like Southeast Asia. I might be wrong. So let's try going this way this time. It just feels like it's part of that stereotyping of exoticization of these foreign cultures as done by the West. Oh, a watermelon. So this is Donkey Kong 64. That's why there's so many collectibles. It's kind of weird how there's no music though. Maybe it's not Donkey Kong 64 after all, because then it would have a cool soundtrack by Grant Kirkhope. Is this a secret wall? I guess not. The only sound is like this ambience in the background, and then whenever I land from a jump, there's a thump. As well as whatever... What? Something forced me out there. As well as whatever sounds are made by creatures and such, and my own flailing punches and kicks. Oh yeah, Gibbon saying that Mesoamerica had jaguars. That's true, that's true. And perhaps panthers too. As well as the smaller mountain lions and such, I want to say. Or is that just North America? I don't know. Oh no. Well, that didn't go so well. Can try that again though. I like how you start every level by falling down like that. It's cool. You know what? Just for giggles, I'm gonna pick a fight with this guy. Hey, buddy. Oh no. Ow. Oh, happy to mind its own business afterwards. What's down here? Much lava. Yeah, that's true. That's true. As Gibbon says, panthers are just melanistic leopards and jaguars. Yep. So instead of having black spots on orange and brown or whatever, they're just black on black. Ah! Something's off about that, the momentum on that. It worked right the first time, and now every other time since it's launched me directly into... Oh no, I've lost all my lives. Which means it's kicking me back to the start with no progress done. But what progress did it save in between lives? That's what I'm wondering. Collectibles found, maybe? Maybe we could try another level after this. Yeah. I can't go too long today. Ugh! Yes, just made it. Okay, so I've been through there. That just takes me back. So, yeah, I wasn't sure where to go along this path, because I got to this point. Also, this is a very modern looking metallic wall texture. Interesting. And this was a dead end too, wasn't it? So I've been through here, and then I couldn't get any further. Yeah, I don't know, I'm lost. Obviously you needed 3 of those silver jewels to open the door that you start in front of, but I only ever found 1. And it's just up here. Ugh! That jump is giving me a lot of trouble. I'm going to try a different level. What's this one? Lair of the Lava Lord. More lava? Okay. I'm gonna turn the game up a little bit. I think it's too soft. Although it spikes a lot. Never mind. Let me know if it's too loud. Oh, we got some new enemy types. A muscly guy, but not as muscly as the boss of the first level. Just want to get a good look at him. Oh, the skin texture on these guys is different too. White with black stripes. Whoa, nice close up. Beautiful. Amazing. Is that the tombstone? Gibbon says, tigers are South and East Asia. Yeah, I thought so. Leopards are Africa and South Asia. Jaguars are Middle and South America. Lions are Africa. Pumas are North and South America. So what's a puma? What color are they? Oh, I'm not coming off well in this encounter. Oh no, that's my stamina bar. My health's not too bad, actually. See, these guys are really advanced. They got lifts and everything. Now you're thinking with portals. Oh! So I took the damage and I got the bounce from that. Interesting, okay. Ah, some lovely healing watermelon. Let's just admire this texture for a bit. It looks a bit Katamari-like. I wanted to get a little bit closer, but I intersected its hitbox. So the goal there is to fall into the water so you don't take the fall damage. I did not exactly... I always love in these kind of games when you can bait enemies into falling off ledges or knock them off even. That's the best. The best mechanic. So here's an important gem. One down. I remember this room. Puma is also known as mountain lion or cougar or white panther, says Gibbon. Cool, thanks. I feel informed. Oh no, the rocking. Motion sickness again, warning. Now that I have warned you. I wonder if I can make it worse. No, I'll stop. Oh no, Gibbon's power is flickering. Ugh. That's not good. What the heck? Okay. The giant rotating knives. This is like a Monty Python sketch all of a sudden. See, this is an example where you can knock a guy off. Awesome. So satisfying. You know, apart from the murder of human people who are just living in their own environment, and I'm intruding on it. This is so Portal. These bounce pads. I think Valve owes a lot to Utopia Technologies, if you ask me. Oops. Wrong button. I strafed off. Fell. It's okay. We've got a nice soothing watermelons down here. Whoa! I also kind of conflate this a little bit with GoldenEye, because that's another early first-person 3D game that I played a lot. Okay, so I'm going to mount that platform. Asset spins around now, and it'll get me up here. Beautiful. But yeah, I mentioned also the Windows 95 Game Sampler CD2 before, which is the source of the Squeezils demo that I played earlier. It had this really cool interface rather than just being a menu of games to pick from. It was a first-person view 3D explorable hub where the games were view screens that you interact with to launch them. But you walk through the hub, it's a spaceship, you explore it, you find hidden passages. It's just like a really cool way of doing a game demo collection. Also nice, yeah, wheeled horse there. Mesoamerican cultures did have the wheel. I don't know how true this information is, but I remember learning at one point that cultures in the Andes in South America, they knew about the wheel, but they didn't use it that much. Maybe it wasn't very useful on the extremely mountainous terrain that they lived on. But like you didn't see it so much in agricultural equipment, but you did see it on like children's toys, and I found that fact really interesting, if indeed it is a fact. And the toy that I remember seeing was quite similar to that horse with wheels back there. All right, so that was a bust. Oh no! Oh well. Try going in the opposite door next time. So if I went in that one last time, I'll wait for this to come over here, and then we can pop in here. Find a new room. Okay, let's put us out on the upper tier. And then, oh, I assume we have to try not to get crushed by the ceiling. Oh, oh no, they're just going up and down. Cool. Platforming in first person. And that's what the page down key is for. Oh, what was that? Oh, this guy. You know what? I'm just going to avoid that guy. Oh, you can strafe in midair. That's good to know. Yeah, you don't want to take too long in that room. The platforms will retract. Oh, we're back here. It's a big loop. Wait. This isn't where I was earlier. What the heck? Oh boy. I shouldn't have mapped my analog stick to movement. Yeah, it doesn't work so well, and now it's messing up a little sometimes. Whoa. Okay. So I've been through here. Wasn't sure how to interact with this horse. There's no like interact button. Can I get at the back and push? No. Ooh, well, considering the time, let's just move on, and I'll do the last level that I have access to and give it a little go. We're not getting to the end of any of these, apparently. This is probably as far as I ever got as a kid as well. I don't know if we ever beat any level past the first one. But here we are in the Dragonfly dungeon. Oh, sorry, forgot the controls. Oh, now I'm lost. Okay. I guess we're going this way. Fishies! Oh, they're cute. Alright, get me out of here. There's the eponymous dragonflies. Oh, they're hurting me. Please don't. I don't want to have to punch you. You ever punched a dragonfly? Ugh! They're not so tough. I'm so glad I got this game working. It was a bit of a hassle getting it running. But once you get the steps down, it's not too bad. Just run the VGA version. Have the disc in. It's pretty difficult to make ISOs on Windows, I've discovered, but much easier to do on Mac. Okay. Ow. Whoa. Oh, I see. So I bounce off this, and then... Oh. I compared this to Portal before. There's this sort of first-person puzzle platforming and bounce pads and stuff. You getting motion sick?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ugh.
Okay, I got something. A wheel? You know, I didn't really explore that first hub that I popped out in. Whoa. Ah. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, I might swim back. Yeah, I just think they did a good job of making interesting 3D spaces to explore in this game. At a time when, you know, 3D games were relatively new. Ah. I certainly find this more engaging than the original, which is also included on the disc. You shouldn't really compare them directly too much, but I think they invite the comparison by including that. Ah! And by making it a sequel. I don't know, I think it was Parker Brothers that I read published the original game on its first releases. So I don't really know the IP situation where it went. Okay, so by putting that wheel in, we've started that platform moving. We need another wheel to start the other one and then get higher up and further in the level. But I'm not sure where else to go to get the other wheel. There must have been another area that I didn't get to. I wonder if there's another room off from this one. I'll just have a look around a bit more. Some gems, but yeah, this is the only other exit, I think. What's this? Unclear. Okay, I went through there. That's where I found the wheel. But there must be another one up through this part. Huh? Just pearls? Ugh. Ugh, yeah. It's always difficult getting from water to land in 3D games. Is this it? It was just here the whole time. Oh, there's a current. Oh! Not only is the current, there's something much more dangerous in that pit. A blue screen of death. Not sure how to circumvent the current, but I know how to get around this one. You press any key. Oh! That's good. It wasn't a complete crash. Good, good, good. Funny. Alright, now I saw something here. Yeah, this. Is this a button? Ta-da! Has that stopped the current? It has. Enough to grab the wheel anyway. That's cool. We're making progress. Feels good. Now I can backtrack. Get back to the first room. Maybe we'll finish one more level. I was ready to stop it there with that blue screen, but luckily it didn't completely close out the whole system. So that's good. Okay. Can I punch and kick underwater? No, I can't. No underwater combat, thankfully. Those bouncing lungs. Oh, God. Okay, are we done? Yes. No more water, hopefully. Ding! Great. Yeah. Whoa. Oh, yeah. Bit of momentum backlash there. Yeah, forget it. I'm not getting 100%, so might as well not bother getting anything. Nice murals. Okay. Oh, water, no! Why did I have to make progress in the water level? Ah! Whoa! Oh, that's cute. When you fall in, the propeller has an active current that pushes you back and out through that chute. See? I just think this game's neat. I think it's cool. You get stuff like that? Yeah. What other game is like this? Whoa, 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 okay. So you gotta be quick on these platforms because they fall into the water, but I can strafe in midair. Yeah!
Is this still the education game?
No. I had two main games today. One was the education one, and one was the action adventure one, which I had on my home computer. Nothing educational about this. In fact, you might get dumber from playing it.
Wow.
'Cause
5 minutes till my snack.
Ooh. Because it reinforces negative cultural stereotypes, I would say. Whoa, what the heck?
Dear. Oh dear.
What is happening? I'm sorry. Oh, I grabbed a rope and I swung around it. Very disorienting in first person. This guy does not seem very Meso-American, if you ask me. Ooh. We're having special snacks before I go to the doctor. Whoa! No! Oh no, it's a combat room. I think combat goes best if you can wedge someone against a wall and keep them there. Oh no, I'm going down. This is not good. Ah. First person combat is rarely good, even in modern games, like melee combat. Ugh. When's the last time I played a good first person combat game? I don't know. I don't think I ever have, to be honest. Yeah, I thought those were kind of Asian stereotype characters, and then they threw a sumo wrestler onto me. Oh boy, this is not good. I was talking about the cultural things. Oh god. So luckily enemy health is saved between lives, as we discovered before with the first boss. Merciful, merciful. What? This is a dead-end room or what? Yeah, exactly. I agree, Gibbons says. This game is such a mess of cultures. And wildlife. It had tigers. It shouldn't have tigers. Did I miss something here? Maybe there's a secret room. There was all those treasures I missed in level 1. I don't know how to open secret rooms, but I'm trying to punching the walls. Doom style. Okay. Whoa! That might be the end of the road for this one. Considering the time and my commitments. So I think we'll call that one there. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this. It was really selfish trip through my own nostalgia of PC games. I wish Squeezils had run better. Because I think it's quite charming. But yeah, very difficult to run on modern systems. Just checking if I had any other notes. Don't think so. I think we covered it pretty well. So Thanks for joining me on this trip through my own memory lane. I'd been meaning to try this for a while, but yeah, getting these running is not easy. But I think they're really interesting artifacts of the time. And yeah, still good today. Still enjoyable today. This is the end of the Montezuma series, by the way. There's really only the 3 installments. The original Revenge, this one, and then the Game Boy one. I wanted to bring up La Mulana as a sort of example of things inspired by that, but much more modern. Yeah. Well, that was nice. Just checking my spreadsheet to see if I have any firm idea of what I'll play next week. Because I usually get to the end of these and go, oh, I have no idea. I'll figure something out in the next week. Yeah, I've got a few options, but I haven't decided on them, so it would be unwise to commit. But thanks for joining me. I hope you didn't get too motion sick from these games today. And yeah, if you want to play any of them, archive.org is a great resource for sourcing them. As for playing them, can be a little bit more tricky, but the virtual box in Oracle's software, VirtualBox software, often gets me most of the way to playing them. Didn't help with if you saw in my start menu before, I tried installing the Kellogg's cereal platformer game on here. Didn't end up working out. So it's not perfect, but sometimes you got to try different things. Anyway, catch you later. Stay safe, everyone. Have a good one.